From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, INEC extend deadline for party primaries as PDP holds presidential convention in Abuja Saturday. Female senator defeats 3 political heavyweights in Adamawa to emerge APC governorship candidates. Court clears former President Jonathan to contest election, OK's probe of immediate past transportation minister. On the foreign scene, Pakistan hikes fuel prices to meet IMF loan conditions. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Deron Ifade. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended the deadline for political parties to conduct their primaries for the 2023 general elections. INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, announced this in a statement on Friday in Abuja. The Commission agreed to extend party primaries by 6 days. Earlier in the day, leadership of the political parties under the auspices of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, had appealed to the Commission to reconsider its earlier position and alter the timetable. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu has the details.
As political activities build up towards the 2023 general elections, leaders of political parties are requesting for another extension of the deadline for primaries. The request is to enable political parties to put things in order.
Kindly take a second look at the timetable, which we considered tight in respect of the fact that we are putting this electoral law 2022 to test for the first time, and the fact that anything you are doing for the first time, you may, make some mistakes.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, noted that although the last time a similar request was brought before the Commission, it was denied in view of overlapping of political activities. However, he says the conditions of the new request will be reviewed.
It appears that the parties have now presented a modified request for what the chairman calls a little adjustment. We will now discuss further to understand the basis for requesting this little adjustment, and thereafter the Commission will meet and a statement will be issued.
The Independent National Electoral Commission had in February released its schedule for the 2023 general election after President Muhammadu Buhari assented to the Electoral Act 2022. In compliance with the new legislation, the Commission fixed April 4th to June 3rd for the conduct of party primaries, which political leaders are now demanding an extension of deadline for primaries for any date on or before June 10, 2022. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A federal high court in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State capital, has cleared former President Goodluck Jonathan to contest election. The court gave the ruling on the eve of the ruling party's presidential primary. Jonathan has been linked to the All Progressives Congress APC presidential race as the group purchased the 100 million naira funds for him. However, there has been different positions on his eligibility for the 2023 presidential election. But on Friday, the court held that Jonathan, who lost the 2015 election to President Muhammadu Buhari, could still vie for the highest office in the land. The presiding Justice Isa Hama Dashen, in his judgment, held that Jonathan's right to contest for the office of president in 2023 cannot be stopped by any retroactive law. In an originating summons filed by Andy Solomon and Idabiye Abraham, the plaintiffs sought an order of the court stating that Jonathan is not affected by the fourth alteration to the Constitution, barring vice presidents who succeed their principals from serving more than one full term. APC, Jonathan, and the Independent National Electoral Commission are listed as defendants in the suit before Justice Issa Dashen. Senator Aishetu Binani has been declared winner of all Progressives Congress primaries, having polled 430 votes. The election committee chairman, Malam Gambo, said Binani scored the highest number of votes in the election. Former chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Nuru Badu, trailed her with 288 votes, while former Governor Jibril Abindo came third with 103 votes. Abdulrazak Namdas polled 94 votes. Senator Binani, the senator representing Adamawa Central Zone, had previously served as a member House of Representatives for Yola North, Yola South, Girei Federal Constituency.
Number of votes cast, valid vote cast brought us to 975. On the power vessel of me by the National Working Committee, National Executive, and our Constitution of our great party, the APC, as the Chief Returning Officer of this election, I have confirmed beyond reasonable doubt that Senator Aisha Dahiru Ahmed Binani is declared the winner of Tuesday.
Let me take this opportunity to thank our delegates for the conduct of this election process that commenced yesterday and is coming to an end this morning, and to thank them for holding forth and keeping faith with the APC. Let me also now officially congratulate the winner of this primary election, Senator Binani Sema Atanna, for emerging victorious at the primaries. Let me also commend the gallant exercise in which 5 other contestants participated, and I am confident that because of the transparent nature of this selection process or election, we would all accept this result in good faith.
It was a well-contested election. All of us as aspirants played our roles with honor, dignity, and unity. We should maintain this for the progress of our party to final victory in the general elections.
Some interesting development there from Adamawa. Meanwhile, crisis is rocking the All Progressive Congress in Taraba State after the emergence of Senator Emmanuel Boacha as state APC governorship candidate. Chairman of APC governorship primary election in the state, Lawrence Onochukwu, said Boacha defeated all the other 8 aspirants to emerge winner of the election. However, co-contestants in the election threatened to leave the party if the election was upheld by the party. The report.
Lawrence Onochukwu, who had earlier on Thursday night at the headquarters of the Taraba Police Command declared that election could not hold in the state because members of the committee were held hostage and harassed with death threats. He, however, disclosed that all the issues surrounding the conduct of the primary elections were later resolved amicably among all stakeholders of the party.
There's some issues that didn't allow us to start the election as planned. And this evening I want to speak to you again that up to now these issues were not able to resolve among us. And as you can see, I'm not really in good state of mind. I'm an unhappy person because I I came all the way from national headquarters to perform my duty to the best of my ability.
But 6 APC governorship aspirants threatened to quit the party if the national leadership of the party failed to address irregularities emanating from the primary election in the state. Spokesperson of the group, Senator Abubakar Yusuf, issued the threat on Friday while addressing newsmen in Jalingo in company of 5 other aspirants.
We want to inform you that due process of the law will be followed to make sure that we obey, we follow up the internal process of the party and also the legal way according to the Electoral Act of 2022.
The 6 aspirants, David Kente, Senator Yusuf, Danladi Kifasi, Anthony Manzo, Alhaji Saleh Mamman and Professor Sani Yahya agreed that no election was held in the state, insisting that the election returning officer will declare a purported result at the airport. He said that all stakeholders had met at the headquarters of the police and agreed for the suspension of the said election for a more convenient time. Yusuf said the aspirants will adopt internal party mechanism and justice to get redress over the primary election infraction in the party.
One person is reportedly killed and 4 others sustained injuries in Matazu local government area of Katsina State during the ongoing House of Representatives primary election in the area. The violence started following a misunderstanding between the contestants of the APC, leading to the death of an unnamed individual. Abdullah Yamadi reports that the 4 wounded persons have been hospitalized at Matazu General Hospital. The fracas prompted the 3 other contestants, Ibrahim Murtala, Mahmoud Alawal, and Alime Kano, to boycott the election. However, the National Election Committee sent from Abuja vowed to continue with the election to complete the process. The contestants who boycotted the election blamed some local government stakeholders for selfishness and fomenting trouble in APC in Matazu local government area. A former Kano State Commissioner for Special Duties, Muntari Ishak Yakase, has picked the APC ticket to contest Kano Municipal Federal Constituency seat. Ishak Yakase scored 63 votes to defeat Miriam Kofa-Mata, who scored 2 votes. Announcing the results, the party's electoral officer for Kano Municipal, Sani Ahmed, said a total of 65 delegates took part in the primary election and that all the votes were counted in the presence of the representatives of the 2 aspirants. Member representing Chanchaga constituency in the House of Representatives, Umar Bago, has emerged as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Niger State. Bago scored 540 votes to beat his rivals, publisher of Blueprint newspaper, Idris Malagi, and former Minister of Sports, Sanin Danusa. The State Deputy Governor, Ahmed Ketso, however, scored only 17 votes in the election. Bago promised to work hard to ensure that the APC wins the election in 2023.
Malagi scored 386 votes. Mohammed Umar scored 540 votes. Honorable Mohammed Umar having scored the highest number of votes at the 2022 APC governorship primary election held in the United States. I, Barrister Nasir Ibrahim, the chairman of the Electoral Committee, hereby declare Honorable Mohammed Bago as the winner of the primary election and then elected.
Organizations of different aspirants to share their swords. It is an intra-party politics. We have to make our party stronger and also victorious.
The senator representing Kaduna Central, Senator Uba Sani, has emerged winner of the state APC governorship primary election. Sani defeated two other contenders with wide margin. However, his challenger, Sani Shaban, rejected the result even before completion of the election. The report.
According to the chairman of the APC governorship primary election in Kaduna State, Ananchuna Henry, 1,245 delegates out of 1,275 were accredited, with 1,196 valid votes and 39 invalid votes.
Barrister Ananchuna Henry, the chairman of the primary election committee, hereby certified that distinguished Senator Uba Sani, having secured the highest number of votes cast in this Kaduna APC gubernatorial election held on the 26th May 2022 and concluded in the early hours of 27 May 2022, and having met the requirement as contained in the guidelines for this primary election, is hereby declared winner.
Uba Sani, who clinched the gubernatorial ticket of the APC, having defeated Sani Shaban and Bashir Abubakar, called on them to join hands with him for the success of the party ahead of the 2023 general election.
I therefore thank my co-contestants, Alhaji Mohamed Sani Shaban and Alhaji Bashir Abubakar, for their belief in the democratic process. I will reach out to these great politicians and strategists and extend my hand of fellowship to them. I will deeply appreciate it if they can work together with me to take Kaduna State to higher heights.
Meanwhile, one of the contenders, Sani Shaban, who polled 10 votes in the primary, has kicked against the election, describing it as a sham.
But what is happening today, the supposed day of the primary election, was a charade. I personally feel the pain. Let us not celebrate what was not there. There was no election whatsoever. Nothing but a shame and shambles in Kaduna State. I feel sad to say that such childish, unpleasant events are happening from the state I come from.
He alleged that illegitimate delegates were smuggled to participate in the primaries.
But alas, here we are today, undergoing a primary. Many of our members across the state, 23 local governments, adhere to the requirements that if they are interested in becoming delegates, they should pay 5,000 naira, obtain the forms, fill the forms, and return those forms. They did all that. Money was paid into the accounts being stipulated by the party at the national level. Please, what happened to those money?
Lami Sadiq, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Ahead of the 2023 governorship election in Rivers State, architect Tonya Cole has emerged winner of the All Progressive Congress governorship primary in the state. Cole polled a total vote of 988, followed by Ojukai Flag Amakri with a vote of 190, declaring the winner of the primaries at the Adokie Amesimaka Stadium. The National Returning Officer, APC Electoral Committee, Larry Ode, said Tonya Cole, having scored the highest, has been declared winner of the Rivers State governorship primary. In his acceptance speech, architect Tonya Cole assured Rivers people of a positive change. Cole said his rule will ensure equitable development and opportunity for all. Correspondent who monitored the exercise reports that Senator Magnus Abe got 1 vote, Bernard Miko with 2 votes, Sekonte Davis 49 votes, and Ibinabo Michael West got 43 votes.
Of this exercise, I hereby certify that Architect Tonye Coles, having scored the highest number of votes cast in this exercise, is hereby declared winner and all elected, and as such, candidate of our great party, the All Progressives Congress. To present to you the winner that has just been declared, Architect Tonye Coles.
The journey is long, but it's just beginning. I want to assure the entire River State that what you are seeing here is a change for the better. We are bringing dignity back to the state. APC is on a mission in River State to bring hope to the hopeless, to bring back a future for our youth, to ensure that they have an education that they will not ever regret, to open up an environment that young people can express their talents, to bring industrialization back to the state, to carry it where only God can take it.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum says he has shelved thoughts of being a running mate for presidential aspirants ahead of the 2023 elections. He made the revelation at the governorship primaries held in Maiduguri, where he emerged as the unopposed candidate of the APC after polling 1,411 votes. Governor Zulum said he has been approached by presidential aspirants to become their vice president, saying he would rather seek for second term in office and continue to rebuild the state, as much needs to be done, especially in the area of insecurity.
Of being vice president, I can see the honor of presiding over meetings attended by governors and ministers, and the privilege of having a presidential jet at one's disposal. I can see the honor of presidential receptions within and outside Nigeria. However, I've asked myself that should I get the opportunity to become the BP and raise my political profile, what happens to all our ongoing works for the people of Borno State? We are fellow citizens. We must always remember that Borno has suffered more than 12 years of mass killings, destructions and displacements as a result of Boko Haram and now Islam's insurgency. Borno has more problems than any of Nigeria's 36 states. Yes, we were able to settle a good number of our displaced citizens. We were able to achieve reasonable degree of peace in Borno State, but we have so much ahead of us. Only at the weekend, more than 30 youths were killed around Kalabandi. This should remind us of the reality of our problems and the need to deliberately unite ourselves towards the recovery, stability and prosperity of our dear Borno State.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan said the race for presidency should be a contest of ideas and not where one comes from. Lawan said he had offered himself for the job because he possessed the essentials that will make him an effective and efficient president. The report.
The Senate President Ahmed Lawan made remarks in Abuja while addressing the All Progressives Congress, APC leaders, and particularly the delegates from the Federal Capital Territory.
I present my credentials that I have, with all humility, the requisite training, the requisite experience, and the network and links across the country to make Nigeria greater. So let this contest be a contest of ideas, not contest of where someone is coming from. I respect all the distinguished aspirants, and I believe that any of us can have, whoever has the opportunity can serve well. But I think I can serve better.
Earlier, the FCT APC chairman Abdul Malik Usman spoke passionately about how Abuja indigents had not been benefiting from either ambassadorial or ministerial roles. He said it was time for indigenes to be given opportunity to serve in government at such levels.
No state titles for the Federal Capital Territory, no ministerial appointment for the Federal Capital Territory, no other meaningful appointment in the parastatal agencies in the Federal Capital Territory. Mr. Senate President is here today. He will use his hammer today to make I hazard for all these things to happen to the people of Abuja.
Plans are now in top gear for the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential primaries slated for Saturday here in Abuja. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, who is chairman Security Committee, inspected the velodrome at the National Stadium in Abuja, venue of the presidential primary. Correspondent Kabir Lawa reports on the level of the party's preparation and expectations during the election. The report.
15 aspirants are eyeing the party ticket to contest the 2023 presidential election. This is where delegates will decide to fly the party flag. Governor Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde, who is the chairman on Security Committee of the party, revealed that the level of preparations has gone far, adding that party delegates have been arriving the Federal Capital Territory for the primary slated for Saturday. He expressed the party's readiness to conduct a hitch-free primary and assured that the party will do party primary without any security hitch. Some respondents said that the level of preparation is encouraging, adding that the primary will be conducted in a peaceful atmosphere.
A lot of hard work has gone into this, and you can see everybody is up and doing, and we're still pushing. So we're looking forward to a very excellent convention tomorrow. It's a family contest, so what do you expect? Somebody is going to win, on the ballots, but at the end of the day, we all be winners because it's PDP giving the next president in Nigeria.
Others who make BRICS business called on security agencies to allow them make some money to enable them feed their families.
My expectation I want, I pray for calm weather. I pray that everything should move on smoothly, peacefully. Let there be no crisis and everything. For us that are selling opportunity, if everything moves on well, I think we'll be happy. But if there's crisis, we won't be able to achieve our expectation. So we're also praying that God should just intervene, God should take control, let there be understanding.
I just wish to give them that they should conduct it peacefully and everybody should exercise decorum. We want peace. I don't pray for violence. I want everything to go smoothly. At the end of the day, let the winner, whoever that is the loser, should accept it in good faith, and the winner too should carry everybody along. So I pray for a peaceful exercise.
All is now set for the preparation of PDP presidential primaries that will hold on Saturday in Abuja. This is Velodrome, and PDP candidates, especially the organizing committee members, have been coming to inspect how the place will look like tomorrow. And also security agents are here and all hands are on deck to ensure the smooth running of the presidential primaries here in Abuja come Saturday. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
You're watching Trust TV News Hour. Coming after the break, educationists provide alternate disciplinary measure. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Hour, a look at our top stories. INEC extend deadline for party primaries as PDP holds presidential convention in Abuja Saturday. And a female senator defeats 3 political heavyweights in Adamawa to emerge APC governorship candidate. Now, moving to other news. Well, before we move to other news, it's been a whirlwind of political activities, upheavals and upsets and so on, you know. So we have in the studio now to discuss some of these developments, the group political editor of Daily Trust, Ismail Mudashir. Ismail, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
It's been a wonderful season, this political season, but I think a story that stands out the most has been this refreshing one coming from Adamawa, where a woman, a senator, yes, beat all comers. And we're not talking about small people. These are political giants that she just slayed out there. So what will now be the implication of this for the political dynamics in that state?
It's everywhere you go now, you hear Binani, Aisha Dairo Ahmed Binani. She has, if you look since the commencement of the primaries, in both parties, PDP and APC, she's the only female that has clinched the governorship ticket. And you see Adamawa, in Northeast, we had a similar scenario in 2015 whereby Aisha Alassan, popularly known as Mama Taraba, she picked the ticket in 2015. Unfortunately, she was defeated, but she went to court and the case lingered. But with this now, I think the woman, she's going to face the incumbent governor, you know, and the governor too is there. I think it's a very good thing for the political terrain.
Okay, because of time, let's just go to Katsina, where both the former chief of staff and former deputy governor lost to maybe someone who is less popular, the DG of Smida, former DG of Smida. How did that happen? I mean, this was someone who was not even listed among the favorites. What happened in Katsina?
You know, like Adamawa, people are still wondering what happened in Katsina, where Bayarada defeated. In fact, the deputy governor came very distant, something. And it's good thing, unlike what happened in Kano and Jigawa, whereby the deputy governor, they had their ways. If you recall, the deputy governor in Kano was endorsed, that's Gawuna, by the governor in the person of Ganduje. I think it's a welcome development. But, you know, there are a lot of issues that are going around. The people are saying that the aspirants, they use everything at their disposal. They use the resources to get their way.
Now, can we look at what happened in Kebbi? I mean, if you tell anybody in this country that the Justice Minister, Abubakar Malami, is not going to be the flag bearer of APC. I mean, anybody will easily argue with you. All of a sudden, he dropped out, and then now you have someone else who has taken the ticket. There are speculations that this person that has actually won the ticket is holding it in trust for Malami, pending the time their INEC will call for substitution, and then they will substitute with Malami.
I'm not aware of this. You know, Malami, based on what people are saying, that the president asked him to quit the race, that he has to be part of his administration till May 29, 2023. I think that's what happened, and that was what paved way for the person that picked the APC ticket in Kebbi State.
Okay. So, so many other things, but there is no time. So thank you very much, Ismail Mudashir. I hope...
You know, contrary to what people are saying, Binani, she's not a novice in the political scene. She was in the House of Rep 2011 to 2015, And as we are talking, she's one of the 8 female lawmakers at the Senate. She's a grassroots politician, even though there are speculation here and there that, like every other politician aspirant, there are a lot of things that has changed, but she's not a novice in the political setting. She's been around.
Of course. I mean, this is Adamawa. They often produce female senators. We can count a number back.
We have Binta Masi of recent as 2015 to 2019.
And
we have Grace Bent and
yes.
what have you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ismail.
Okay, it's my pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, let's go back to the stories. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi seeking to stop his probe over an alleged 96 billion fraud. 96 billion naira, that is. In a lead judgment prepared by Justice Emmanuel Augi but read by Justice Adamu Jairo, the Apex Court dismissed the appeal of Mr. Amechi on grounds that the issue of not being given fair hearing does not arise as no one is on trial. A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Friday refused to order the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to release the detained former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, on bail. The court, in a ruling delivered by Justice Inyang Eku, rejected an ex parte application the former governor brought to secure bail from EFCC custody. Justice Eku ordered Okorocha to put the federal government on notice to come and defend his detention. It will be recalled that the operatives of Anti-Graft Agency arrested Okorocha at his Abuja residence last Tuesday. The arrest followed an alleged refusal by the former governor to make himself available for trial in a 17-count money laundering charge that is pending against him before the court. EFCC accused him of deliberately evading service of the charge on him. Peter Obi, a former presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has joined Labour Party. The former Anambra State governor announced this in a tweet he posted on Friday afternoon. Obi said, "Since I resigned from the PDP because of issues that are at variance with my personal principles, I have consulted widely and various parties and personalities to ensure we do not complicate the route to our desired destination. For me, the process of achieving our goal is as fundamental as what one will do thereafter. Therefore, I have chosen a route that I consider to be in line with our aspirations and my mantra of taking the country from consumption to production, that is the Labour Party, which is synonymous with the people, workers, development, production, securing and uniting Nigerians as one family." That's quoting Peter Obi. Moving on, the Senate Majority Leader, Enyinaya Abaribe, has resigned his membership from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Senator Abaribe made his decision known in a letter to the ward chairman of the PDP in his ward, Ward 5, Obingwa local government area of Abia State. Abaribe joined former governor of Anambra, Peter Obi, who resigned from the party and quit from the presidential race. In a separate letter, Senator Abaribe notified Senate President Ahmed Lawan of his resignation from the PDP. Senator Abaribe further disclosed that he would be contesting for the Abia South senatorial seat under the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. His resignation is his latest move after opting out from Abia State PDP governorship race held on Wednesday. To celebrate this year's International Children's Day, the federal government has established family courts in 16 states to ensure child-friendly justice for children, either as victims or as offenders of violence. The Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talen, who disclosed this at a press briefing on Tuesday, said that The establishment of family courts resulted from the effective advocacy and sensitization for effective implementation of the child rights law across the country. According to her, the theme for this year's celebration is strengthening supportive system for the protection of the Nigerian child, a wake-up call. She said despite efforts by the government and other stakeholders, children were still vulnerable and victims of abduction, ritual killing, rape, child marriage, domestic abuse, and others. Despite the challenges children face in the internally displaced camps in Nigeria, children in one of the IDP camps in the FCT are optimistic that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Mardia Umar, who visited one of the IDP camps on Children's Day, reports that the children still have a glimmer of hope. Now, a story from Anambra State. Governor Chukwuma Soludo says his administration will continue to promote the rights and privileges of Anambra children. Speaking at this year's Children's Day celebration at Dr. Alex Ekweme Square, Awka, Governor Soludo made a clarion call for strengthening of support systems for the child in the best possible way. The governor explained that the event is aimed at reorienting the children and aid their development, emphasizing that if it is done across tribal and religious lines, the child will reach its full potential as a future leader of the Nigerian nation.
It is not their fault that you didn't do yours, you didn't go to school. Leave them to go to school. But I want to assure you, the security agencies and what we are putting in place, I think it won't be long. Well, we'll all be back in school on Mondays. If not this Monday, subsequent Mondays, I am very confident that with the measures we are putting in place, all our children in all schools will be back to school every Monday.
And still on the Children's Day, corporal punishment remains a widely used disciplinary technique in most African families and schools to shape children and make them grow into responsible citizens. Despite being generally accepted that corporal punishment helps in child development, it has been a subject of controversy among psychologists that a thin line separates correctional corporal punishment from abuse. In this report, Zainab Bala speaks to educationists on better ways of correcting children.
To the school, but she has not gone to the school. That will is indicating something that you will do.
The family and the school are the first and most important agents of socialization, where a child learns to explore and imbibe social norms. In this process of learning, a child could exhibit certain behaviors that parents and teachers feel inclined to correct, especially when those actions are judged to be against acceptable patterns of human behavior. But the method or technique to fix the problem has been the subject of debate among educators and child rights advocates. Corporal punishment, which involves parents, teachers, or supervising adults subjecting children to pain through flogging or by any other means, has been frowned at in many fora, leaving many wondering what is the most acceptable way of correcting a child.
Today's education policy has been abolished. Corporal punishment is a disciplinary action taken against a learner or a child due to misconduct. Some of this misconduct can be as a result of not going by the rules and regulations of the school. And infringing these corporal punishments, the Child Rights Act has abolished it completely in our schools, most especially at the basic school.
For separating a child from his mate in a class. If a child does something, you say, Abdullahi, come here, stay here.
Well, you continue your lesson. Abdullahi will feel being separated from your mate is a way of punishing a child. Then another one, you call a child and then giving an assignment in a class different from the one the class are carrying on. It's another way to punish a child.
You can ask that child to write, "I'm sorry," or you ask the child to write, "I'm sorry, I will not do it again. I'm sorry, I will not do it again," up to 50 times. This will make that child to change.
This is the public primary school in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. They have devised a better way of dealing with unacceptable behaviors. Every week, they hold a mentorship session, pairing a teacher to a group of students to create an enabling environment for the students to have a rapport with their mentors.
My little boy said, from what Romy said, that late is a bad habit. This mentorship is very good. Why it is good is that he enlightens children of what is good and what is not good. Mostly the effects on them in the school and the society. It made them to know what to do at the right time and what not to do even when they mingle with their people.
My uncle is not the best to punish me. I love my uncle. My uncle loves me. She told me, say, this thing is not good and this thing good. So then they do it again.
I love my uncle. He teach us anything that we don't understand. He remind us again, say any question, then you understand.
As a parent, if my child come to home and tell me this is the kind of punishment he or her auntie gave to him, I'm going to ask him or her, what did you do? If he tell me, the next day I will go to their school and contact the teacher. This kind of punishment is bad.
Corporal punishment itself is relative among those who subscribe to it due to the way it is administered or handled by those correcting the offending kids. This boy was asked to go home after school, but decided to go along with his friends, leaving his mother worried. So when he gets home and you hear he has been barred from going out for a period of time or subjected to some other forms of punitive measure, the idea is to forestall a repeat of unacceptable behavior. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child describes corporal punishment as the most widespread form of violence against children, in which physical force is used and intended to cause some degree of pain or discomfort.
The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Kada has arrived Lagos after her maiden voyage and last port call at Port Gentil in Gabon. The landing ship tank was constructed at Abadi Damen Shipyard, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. NNS Kada made port calls in Oman, Kenya, South Africa, Angola, Port Gentil, Gabon, and is now in Lagos. The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Zubairu Gambo, received the ship, making 8,424 nautical mile voyages at the NNS Jetty Apapa in Lagos.
This landing ship tank ideally should come in pairs, and already we are making efforts, and the government is determined to provide a system for this edifice, which will further support our operation. So we are expecting one approval for additional one anytime from now. Thank you. Thank you.
Time now to join Chamunda Beng for business news.
The federal government has begun to consider future minerals such as lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper, and many others. The government expects that the minerals used in the construction of aircrafts, automobiles, and other items would someday replace the country's overdependence on oil as other countries transition to the usage of electric vehicles. Director General of the Nigeria Mining Cadastral Office NMCO, Engineer Obadiah Nkwom, stated that countries such as Saudi Arabia have begun to invest in future minerals, and Nigeria would not fall behind. Nkwom revealed that the government has identified some minerals that the country will require, particularly in its desire for steel production, and has restricted access to mining to prevent them from being depleted when the country requires them. The Central Bank of Nigeria injected $3.36 billion into foreign exchange markets in 2 months as part of its attempt to keep the naira stable. According to the CBN's January monthly report on foreign exchange market developments, $1.71 billion and $1.65 billion were pumped in December 2021 and January 2022, respectively. Foreign exchange sales at the small and medium enterprises window, interbank, invisible foreign exchange sales, and matured swaps contracts increased by 24.4%, 25.9%, and 60.8% respectively to $0.14 billion, $0.18 billion, and $0.21 billion in January compared to December 2021. However, foreign exchange sales to investors and exporters and secondary market intervention sales window declined 13.7% and 16.3% respectively to $0.58 billion and $0.54 billion in the month under review. Chief Executive of Bank of Industry, BOI, Mr. Olukayode Piton, has stated that the bank will advance more money to consumers this year. He also stated that while the bank has not done much in the small and medium enterprises SME space in terms of lending support, it is striving to de-risk the sector in order to provide possibilities to small businesses in the middle of the current difficult economic environment. Piton stated that the Development Finance Organization is also collaborating with the federal government to determine how it can better the lives of Nigerians by providing them with inexpensive loans. He added that global developments had made it unavoidable for the BOI to respond to the pains of Nigerian firms this year by advancing more money to consumers, citing increased prices as a result of supply chain disruption caused by the Russia-Ukraine conflict. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dada.
And now on the foreign scene, Pakistan's government increased local fuel prices from Friday to meet a key condition set by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, for reviving its bailout program. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's administration raised the cost of gasoline and diesel by 30 rupees a litre each. Finance Minister Miftah Ismail said in a Twitter post, the decision comes a day after the two sides ended week-long talks without reaching an agreement to revive stalled loan. The resumption of the bailout will provide a much-needed relief to keep the South Asian nation's economy afloat and avert default. According to data complied by Bloomberg, the stocks have tumbled and the Pakistani rupee dropped 9% in the past month, the worst performance among Asian nations. The country's dollar bond dropped to a record low last week. The successful resumption of the program will unlock the remaining $3 billion from the loan program. Pakistan has also requested the IMF to extend its loan program for a year and increase the loan size by a further $2 billion. In sports, Canada's national men's football team has withdrawn from a football match with Iran scheduled for June 5 after pressure from the Canadian government and the families of a passenger flight downed over Tehran in January 2020. Canada Soccer, the footballing body that had organized the June 5 World Cup warm-up match, said on Thursday that the game was cancelled because of the unsustainable geopolitical situation of hosting Iran, and it had become significantly divisive. On January 8, 2020, Ukraine International Airlines flight PS-752 had just departed Imam Khomeini International Airport in Tehran when it was targeted by 2 missiles fired from an air defense battery operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, IRGC. And with these, we've come to the end of the News Hour on Trust TV. For more news, connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Dero Odefade. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.